Hi students, welcome to the history class of Arvind Academy. In today's class, let's take a look at Vedic civilization. What is meant by Vedic civilization? Two terms are visible here. One word is Vedic, another term is civilization. So this Vedic comes from Vedas and also Vedic period. So this civilization flourished during Vedic period. The historians gave the time period as 1500 BC to 600 BC. So this civilization flourished in India from 1500 BC to 600 BC. This society was depending on the sacred books called Vedas. So in this society, the rules and norms set by Vedas were followed. Next word is about civilization. What is civilization? It is a society with advanced culture. A society with advanced culture can be termed as a civilization. So simply, we are studying in ancient history about a society which flourished from 1500 BC to 600 BC, and that society was following the religious beliefs and social norm set by sacred books called Vedas. So this is about Vedic civilization. And the people who built this civilization were called Aryans. So these are three terms which are important before entering into the details of Vedic civilization. Now let us see the timeline. Before 1500 BC also there was history in our ancient past. So let us see that. Let's draw a timeline here. We term 600 BC. Let's take 1500 BC. Let us take 2500 BC. In previous class we have seen the time period of Indus Valley civilization. The time period of Indus Valley civilization was from 2500 BC to 1750 BC. Between this time period, Indus Valley civilization flourished on the plains of Indus and neighboring areas. And if you see here, from 1500 onwards, Vedic age started. Between this time period, Vedic civilization flourished. Now we see the geography, in which locations the Indus Valley civilization flourished and Vedic civilization flourished. Now let's move to the map of India. This is the map of India. So they were living across Indus plain until Gujarat. Here some of the, what is this? Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhodaro, Lodhal, Kalibangan, Rocky Garhi, Banawali. So these are some of the Harappan towns. But what happened after 1750? These towns declined, and some of these people went to neighboring rural areas, and they were having settled life and they were practicing agriculture. So we can simply say the towns declined and the rural areas emerged in the neighboring areas of Indus Valley civilization. By the time 1500 BC came, new people from northwestern part of India called Aryans. entered into Indian subcontinent. Already some people were settling in the Indus Plain. Now new people who called themselves as Aryans, they entered into India and they settled. Initially they settled in Afghanistan, in northern and eastern Afghanistan, and the modern day present Pakistan, and till Yamuna. This is Yamuna river, this is Ganga river. By 1000 BC reached. These Aryans settled till this part of this area. So we can simply say phase 1. From 1500 BC to 1000 BC, Aryans settled in northern and eastern Afghanistan and modern day Pakistan, northern Pakistan, and Indian Punjab, Rajasthan, and western UP. They have mentioned they know Ganga river, but they did not cross Ganga river. So this is one of the most important aspect which we have to remember what happened before 1000 BC. After 1000 BC, from 1000 to 600 BC, Aryans crossed Ganga river and settled in Gangetic plain, in middle Gangetic plain and eastern Gangetic plain. This is phase 2. So now we have seen the entire age of Vedic people was 1500 to 600 BC. But again we are dividing into two parts. From 1500 to 1000 called early Vedic period, and from 1000 BC to 600 BC called later Vedic period. So this is about time period. Early Vedic period and later Vedic period. Why we are differentiating in two ways when both belong to same kind of Aryans? Both societies belongs to Aryans only. We are studying about Aryans. We are studying about Vedas, the society based on Vedas. Still we are dividing into two parts because the kind of society before 1000 was completely or partially different from society after 1000 BC. Some new elements came into the society, and the kind of technology they used and the kind of technology later Vedic people used is different. Here there was no iron. After 1000 BC, iron was used extensively. Before 1000 BC, it was dominated by domestication of cattle, pastoral activity. Agriculture was not a dominant activity. But after 1000 BC, agriculture was a dominant factor. And before 1000 BC, these people were semi-nomadic. That means they used to move from one place to another place. But after 1000 BC, they settled and enjoyed settled life. So there are so many differences and there were so many changes after 1000 BC. Hence, we are dividing entire Vedic civilization into two parts. One is early Vedic period, another one is later Vedic period. So this is to explain you why we are dividing entire Vedic civilization into two parts. This part is done. Now let us see. We are saying these Aryans came from outside. But from which location they came from outside? What is the birthplace, the initial Aryans, from which location they migrated to India? This is very controversial one, and so many theories developed about the origin of Aryans. Some historians said India is the birthplace of Aryans, and from India only they entered into different parts of the world. but that theory do not have sufficient evidences. So hence other theories came into picture. The other theories are like theory 1, origin theories. What is the homeland of early Aryans? What is the homeland of early Aryans? You know, the history as a subject in a scientific manner evolved during imperialistic time period. That is when India was under British imperial rule. The historic studies also took place extensively. Balagangadhar Tilak, our beloved freedom fighter, he said that the Aryans came from Arctic region. From Arctic region, but no sufficient evidence. This is Bala Gangadhar Tilak. Dayananda Saraswati said these people came from Tibet region. Dayananda Saraswati said Aryans came from Tibet and they entered into India and they wrote Vedas. But this also do not have sufficient evidence. Max Muller, German Indologist, he said these people came from Central Asia. Who said this? Max Muller. The theory proposed by Max Muller has many takers because he provided the evidence, literary evidence for this theory. So according to him, Central Asia was the homeland of Aryans. From this Central Asia, they migrated to different parts of the world. Now let us see the world map. This is the world map. Here you know steppes, Central Asian steppes. This is temperate zone. Here steppes were there. Here you will find horses. Horses were domesticated by the people who were living in this area. We are talking about the people before 2000 BC. Even before it. So before 2000 BC, some people called Aryans used to stay in these steppes. And from here they migrated to, one branch migrated to Europe. One branch came to Iran. Another branch came towards northwestern part of India. And from Iran, this branch again merged in this northwestern branch of Aryans. The term, he gave the evidences like the language, he took the language as the evidence. According to Max Muller, the ancient language of Aryans in India was Sanskrit. In Iran, we can say for now, Old Iranian language. Iranian language and European languages. So he studied these different languages and he come to the conclusion that there is commonality among all these languages. Between Sanskrit and Iranian texts, and from European languages and Sanskrit language, there were some kind of common terms. These terms were common. European languages like Greek, Alexander the Great. The language of Alexander the Great was Greek, and the Latin. The Roman emperors, they promoted a Latin language. These languages also developed after migration of Aryans. There was some kind of commonality among all these languages. So based on this evidence, he proposed that there should have been a common homeland. So he proposed that is Central Asia. That is one evidence. Another evidence is from Iran. In Iran, some inscriptions related to Aryan people were discovered after 2200 BC until 1600 BC, 1400 BC. Some kind of inscriptions belong to this particular period were discovered. Based on this inscription, he also come to conclusion that these inscriptions were belong to Aryans and these people migrated from other place. So based on language and inscriptions, some inscription names we are giving like Hittite inscription, Kassite and Mitanni. Hittite inscription, these are the names of Western Asian, okay, these are the terms which you have to remember, the inscription names of Western Asia: Hittite inscription, Kassite inscription, Mitanni inscription. These inscription gave evidence that these people, Aryans, migrated towards Iran. And another evidence, the name Iran, earlier it was called Iran. So if you use the word Iran, Iran. So the name of modern Iran itself has origin to Aryan, the word Aryan. So based on all these evidences, according to Max Muller, we can conclude that Aryan people came from Central Asian steppes. From there they migrated towards Europe, towards Iran and towards India. So this is about birthplace of original homeland of Aryans. So now come to Indian scene. So now homeland part is done. Now it is clear that Aryans came from Central Asian steppes and they reached northwestern part of India. And by the time they reached the northwestern part of India, already some people were there in northwestern part of India. So when new people came, when the new people migrated to the new place, if some people were already there, some kind of conflict is expected, especially when the resources of the particular place are limited. Already we have seen what are the causes for decline of Indus Valley. Causes for decline of Indus Valley civilization. We have seen, though there are many theories, we have seen that natural disasters or ecological disturbances, ecological causes. Ecological causes were the major factors behind the decline of city life of Indus people. We have seen that when they exploited the natural resources, the river courses changed, and the people who were depending on the rivers also had to shift to the new kind of lifestyle. And by 1750, these cities were declined and they settled in rural areas. These Aryan people were also called semi-nomadic people. Semi-nomadic people. Why they were called semi-nomadic? Nomadic people means they continuously shift from one place to the another place in search of food. Semi-nomadic means they settle in a particular place for some time and again they go for outside for searching food. After getting the food for some time, and they come back and they settle in that particular place. So they have some base camp, and they move again, they come back to the base camp and stay for some time, and again move to the new location. So it is a kind of semi nomadic, the semi movement and semi settlement. And already after 1750 the people have some kind of settled life. These people were called late Harappan people. So we can say, let us have two kinds of people now: Aryans and the people who were called late Harappan people. And if you remember, in India, Neolithic period was also the same period. We have seen that from also called Neolithic people plus late Harappan people. The Neolithic period continued from 4000 BC to 1000 BC. So we are talking about people around 1500 BC. So 1500 BC. Around 1500 BC, the new kinds of people entered into the scene of Indian northwestern part of India, northwestern part of Indian subcontinent. These were Aryans. Already some people called late Harappan people were also there in the particular zone, and some Neolithic people were also settled there. So now these people you can call in local people. Simple term, local, because they were there for already for so many generations. Now new people entered. Naturally, some kind of conflict do occur. So now what happened? These Aryan people have already some kind of social structures, some kind of religious beliefs, and some kind of technology also. They were more advanced than local people. So now we see the differences, what kind of lifestyle Aryans were having and what kind of lifestyle local people were having. These local people were using copper and some bronze, very limited, but we do not have much evidence of bronze for this period. We also called Neolithic, plus one more term also come, Chalcolithic. Chalcolithic people. Chalcolithic means those who use copper. And Aryans, these people were also using copper and at some extent bronze tools, and more importantly horses and chariots. These people were using horses and chariots. We have seen in Indus Valley civilization the evidence of horse is very poor. Even if it is there in Lothal, from Surkotada and from Lothal, we have some kind of evidence related to horse, but horse was not an important animal at all during Indus Valley civilization. So these people do not know horse. These horses are very swift, and these people were warlords, war loving people, because they were continuously moving from one location to the other location. War is their way of life because it is essential in their life for survival. These people were settled people already, but peace loving. So these people were offenders, these people were defenders, and these people were having semi-nomadic lifestyle. These people were having the local people were having settled life, but due to technological advancement, these Aryans could easily conquer the local people because chariots and horses helped them. They gave the swiftness to Aryans, and with the swiftness and they some kind of bronze tools also, the kind of military tools which they use were also different from local people. The Aryans were using even the swords, the kind of coat mail, protective cover for the body. So, but these local people do not have such kind of technology, so they were easily conquered. But in one go, they could not conquer all the local people. So now, one way is conquering the people, one way is direct fight. Another way of conquering is the soft way, cultural conquest. So it is the hard, the military fight is one way of conquering people, and another way of conquering people is through cultural fight. Now, culturally also, these two people were different. Now we study how culturally they started conquering local people, and slowly after conquering, they even integrated local people with Aryans. So after certain period, the local people and Aryans mixed together and a kind of Indianness. That is the beauty of India. Even though we find some kind of conflict in the initial stages of people, but after some point of time in India particularly, both people try to compromise and both people join together and create a new kind of culture called Indian culture, a called civilization called Indian civilization. So this kind of repeatedly we will find this kind of developments throughout our history. So our first stage of this kind of mixing we are seeing around 1500 BC. Now let us go deeper into the how culturally Aryan people conquered local people. Now let us see. Now we have seen Aryans came from Central Asia and settled in northwestern part of India. Already some people were there. When there is a conflict, when there is a competition for resources, and two different cultural people try to fight each other, and slowly after fighting for a long time, they try to mix together. Now, for some time, we will understand how these kinds of fights were going on. These were called tribal conflicts. The Aryan people were having tribal in nature. They used to group together, and from groups, they used to move to the new locations and they find new resources and they enjoy the new resource. After completion of the new resource, they move to the new location. So it's kind of tribal character. Now, in Aryans, there was some tribe. There were many tribes. One tribe name was Bharatha tribe. This Bharatha tribe, from this Bharatha tribe only, our India has got another name called Bharat. Our Indian Constitution, Article number 1 says, Article number 1 of Indian Constitution, what it says? India, that is Bharat, is union of states. This is the line. India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. The word Bharat has come from this Bharata tribe. So Aryans were having so many tribes. One tribe name was Bharata tribe. And there were other tribes called Purus. So many tribes, more than 10 tribes. What happened? Bharata tribe versus 10 tribes. Fight took place. In these 10 tribes, 5 tribes were Aryans. Another 5 tribes were local people. You can say early settlers. Early settlers simply. Instead of using the word local, the the best name is early settlers. Early settlers in India. So we use the term India here onwards. Aryans also entered into India. Early settlers were already there. The structure, social structure of those times was tribal character. Aryans were having so many tribes. Majorly, they were having five tribes. Five tribes versus five tribes from early settlers. These five tribes from Aryans and another five tribes from early settlers, and they joined together, formed 10 tribes, and they fought with the Bharata tribe. And there is a story that the head of Bharata family, Sudasa, we will use the word now. So now names come. Some names you have to remember. Sudhasa, he was head of Bharata tribe, and he was having a priest called Vishwamitra. One day, some kind of conflict has come between Sudhasa and Vishwamitra. So he replaced Vishwamitra and appointed sage Vasishta as the advisor of Sudhasa. Now Vishwamitra got angry because he felt insulted, and he went to other tribes, and he brought 10 tribes together. 5 tribes belong to the Aryan people, and he had diplomatic relation with the early settlers also. He brought 5 more tribes. So total 10 tribes, and they fought together with Bharata tribe only, even though the numbers were high against Bharata tribe, but Bharata tribe won, and Sudasa became victorious. So from this, Bharata tribe emerged victorious. In this fight, Bharata tribe became victorious, and this battle was called Battle of 10 Kings. The name Battle of 10 Kings, Dasaragna. The name Dasaragna represents the Battle of 10 Kings. So this is about the tribal conflict in the initial stages of the entry of Aryans. But this was a very slow process. Continuously it was going on. So these conflicts, inter-tribal conflicts, intra-tribal conflicts took place between Aryans and early settlers. Intertribal means Aryans versus early settlers. Intra-tribal means Aryans versus Aryans. So these people were war-loving people, continuously moving from one place to another location. Whenever there is a need of fighting, they used to fight. And this initially they fought with the early settlers. Later they started fighting amongst themselves. So that's why initially the tribal conflicts were divided into inter-tribal conflicts, intra-tribal conflicts. So we have seen Battle of 10 Kings, in which Bharata tribe emerged victorious, and Bharata tribe became powerful. And from the opposition party also, Bharata tribe, from the opposite 10 tribes, Purus was the important tribe among those 10 tribes. After some time, both joined together and formed Kurus. Kurus is the tribe. It is very familiar for our Indian culture because the great battle Mahabharata, Kurukshetra war happened because of Kurus. Kurus is the tribe formed after joining together with Purus joining together with Bharata tribe. So this shows after emerging victorious, these were victors. These were defeated people. Still, they joined hands and formed new tribe, new culture. This is how in our Indian history, this is how the kind of immigration and the mixing. So first people we can see migration, then mingling, then forming new character of Indianness. So this is how Indian culture evolved. This kind of examples we will find so many such examples we will find throughout our ancient history. This is how, even though they came from outside and they form a kind of new culture, what we are calling today as Indian culture. So this part is clear. Is it clear? The Bharata tribe and Purus tribe became Kurus tribe. This Kurus, the family Kuru family, Kauravas and Pandavas belong to Pandavas and Kauravas belong to Kuru family. This is how Aryans entered into India and how they fought war battles with early settlers, and they fought amongst themselves, and finally they created new kind of tribes and a new kind of culture they started. This is about military aspect of Aryans. As we have seen, there are two kinds of powers. One is hard power, another one is soft power. For every society, there are two kinds of powers. One is hard power, another one is soft power. With these two kinds of powers, a society survives from the threats both internally and externally. Similarly, Aryan society also do have both kinds of powers. One is hard power. They used military. Military means tribal militia with swords, with horses, with chariots. They give the hard power either to consolidate their own tribe or to attack another tribe. Now they have soft power through literature or ideas, through language. The language they used was Sanskrit. Literature was not there. Literature means they did not note down the literature, but they compiled their ideas. They compiled their ideas into a form of Vedas. So hence, through this soft power also they influenced people within the tribe as well as the people outside the tribe. Now Aryans utilized both these powers to expand their geographical settlement and to expand their Aryan culture. So both hard power as well as soft power is used to expand Aryan culture.